Hi there, today's Pinot Noir day, so I have with me to taste a bottle of Giesen's Clayvin Pinot Noir from Marlborough. This is a 2012 vintage, so it's got a nice bit of age to it. Clayvin, one of Giesen's top wines. This is from Marlborough, so the top part of New Zealand's North Island. Sorry if you can hear the wind there. It's a very windy day in the Auckland region. So this is a single vineyard in the southern valleys, and Clayvin is sort of one of the it would be, let's just say it's a noted terroir for Pinot Noir in this region. The southern valleys are to the southern side of the Whare Valley, just along from what's known as Spy Valley, where the government have their communication centre there. It's a side valley. And right at the end there, as it starts to go up the hills, this vineyard was planted 23 years ago, 1997. So these are relatively old vines on a hillside site. Not surprisingly, the Clayvin site has heavy clay soils, and that gives the wines quite a rich, full-bodied style as a result of the sort of the water retention that the clay has. Now, several producers make a wine from Clayvin. I'll show you the label more closely there. This, as I say, this is Giesen's. I think also Whare and Fromm both produce wines from this site as well. Just a bit of disambiguation there. So you can see a lovely deep colour there. And I've got this in a nice big Radel New World Pinot glass, so I can give it a good swirl, and there's some fabulous aromas. You can see the really quite deep colour, not particularly opaque, but sort of a dark ruby there. And the wine's got lovely rich aromas. There's quite a layering of toasty oak there, but underneath there's a richness of black fruit, sort of plum, bullace, damson, almost a slight pruny note as it's sort of the ripeness, and you know, it's a fairly alcoholic, slightly developed, slightly truffly aroma to the wine as well, and maybe hints of chocolate in there from the oak. Tasting the wine, it's powerful. It's powerfully structured, and it's got quite a bit of that toasty oak layered onto it, which is only just starting to come into balance with the fruit. There's really good acidity. You don't see it at first because it's hidden behind the ripe fruit, but at the finish there's a lovely freshness on the edges of my tongue there. There's a warmth and a ripeness, again, those sort of dark fruits, dark cherry, red cherry, damson, plum. You know, lovely complexity from a wine that's been evolving in the bottle for a bit. Good acidity, not too high in alcohol. I think this is, the label says 13.5. So there's a warmth, but it's not overpowering the finish. The flavours are elegant and long. Plentiful tannins, although they start out sort of seeming earthy, more like a sort of a Pommard or a Nuit Saint-Georges, if you're using a sort of a classical Burgundian reference. They finish much more sort of velvety textured, more like I'd expect to see from something like a Chambol or a Vosne Romney. No, that's a lovely wine. I suspect it'll be even more opulent and enjoyable in 5 or 6 years' time, but you know, just starting to drink really nicely, and a real fantastic example of what producers can do in Marlborough, a region much better known for its white wines, its Sauvignon Blanc and its Chardonnay, but actually producing some really good Pinot Noirs. So happy Pinot Noir Day, everybody.